What's up, guys? It's time for On the Fly. So what is On the Fly? This is a new series. I was like, you know what? When I make videos, I do research and I do my notes and I've got all these things here. I've got my little notebook and everything, and I've got my iPad and all these notes, right? I don't do scripts, but I do notes because I want to know what I'm talking about, and I do research behind stuff, and I want to just talk about that stuff and inform. So I was like, what if I just did a video where I didn't look up all this stuff and I just talked about my opinion on things, different topics, and not planned, where you're like, well, maybe she did do research. Like, how do we know she didn't do research? Well, you know, because I've got a hat right here. It's a hat of what BB-8. Get it? BB-8. Because it's what's inside him. What he ate. Alright, I won't do that anymore. So I've got this hat here. My lucky BB-8 hat, and it's got all these topics, and a lot of these, just a few of them are my topics, but a lot of these are your guys' topics. I went on Twitter and Facebook and I asked you guys to give me some gaming topics, and yeah, they're in here. So I'm just gonna pick one, and every episode of these or every video of these, I'm gonna talk about it, just my opinion, what comes to my head, no research, no nothing. And if I do some kind of research just so that I know what it is, it's gonna be on the fly. Okay, I won't do that anymore either. Popularity versus innovation and risk-taking. Shared online experience like Destiny and The Division. I want to try to make these as general as possible, not like, what do you think about The Division? You know, as specific games. I wanted to make it as general as possible. We have been seeing a lot of games repeating themselves, especially when it comes to genre, but mostly when it comes to the way that they work, like microtransactions. There's another one in there of microtransactions, so I won't go too much into that, but things that repeat themselves, and that's popularity. Innovation is something new. Like, why aren't we seeing more new stuff? Like, that's what I want to see in the gaming industry, what developers like to approach. And it makes sense because, you know, it's what sells, like I said, is what's popular, and not so much let's do something completely new. When it comes to let's do something completely new, that's when you see Kickstarters. That's when you see stuff like mostly PC games, indie games. Those are the games that you will see take risks a lot of times. That's why you get these really quirky, weird games on the PC that you would rarely ever see on a console, like Undertale. There was this one that reminded me a little bit of Portal. I can't remember the name of it. The Stanley something. You guys are gonna tell me in the comments down below, but it was the Stanley Project, something like that. And it was this weird game, but it made you think, and it was different, and it was new, and it was like, whoa, this is pretty cool. That's one thing that I do like about PC gaming, is how much variety you see on there with games. You will see, you know, AAA titles on there, obviously, but you will see more innovation in PC games than in consoles, and I think that's a shame, because with the PS4 and the Xbox One, one of the first things that Microsoft and Sony, especially Sony first, but now Microsoft as well, they talked a lot about indie gaming and stuff like that, and how they were going to Sony was going to be publishing a bunch of indie games for the PS4 and stuff like that, and how it was going to be a new platform for that. And yeah, you do see some indie stuff, but when you think of PS4 and Xbox One, at least when it comes to my opinion, I think of stuff like, you know, the AAA titles. I don't think of indie games. When I think indie games, I think of the PC. I would love to see games kind of steer clear from what's popular. I mean, it is something that is gonna happen no matter what. Some publishers will do it more than others. I want to see new things, not just, you know, repetitions of the last game because it did good, because it sold a lot of money. This whole thing about shared online experiences, like in Destiny and The Division, this is kind of, I don't want to say new, but it's starting to become a bit of a trend now, because not a lot of people play MMOs. Only a specific type of person will play an MMO. And this is not exactly an MMO, and it's not just multiplayer, because multiplayer is kind of like, it's always seen as an option. Multiplayer is always seen as the single player and multiplayer, so it's always like secondary. Shared online experiences are games that's what they are. They're just online experiences, like Battlefront, Destiny, The Division. So it seems like more games, especially shooters, are starting to go down this route. Instead of just having like your Call of Duties and your Battlefields and all that, or Battlefront, Battlefields, all those first-person shooters, I think are gonna start becoming or turning into shared experiences. Because those games, they're like Halo and all that, their biggest I think the biggest thing that they focus on is the shared experience, the online aspect in those games. I think that's the biggest part of those games. So I think when it comes to first-person shooters, they're probably in the future going to start turning into just shared experiences online shared experiences. Instead of having a single player, it's going to be just online. At least that's what I see happening with first-person shooters, because it is being received very well, and the game has there's more longevity to the game. You could play it for longer because it's easier for developers to introduce new content for something that's constantly online, and not just, okay, let's play the single player and then they'll introduce like a DLC with another story that's for single player also. It's easier to just keep introducing things like maps and stuff like that for the online experience. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to read some of your guys' ideas. Popularity versus innovation. Let me know if you guys like this idea. Keep giving me topics in the comments down below. Say, add this to the hat. Add this to what BBA. Let's try to keep them as general as possible, as you know, kind of engulfing the whole gaming industry, the whole gaming community, the whole aspect of gaming, not just particular games. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys later.